I thought the match was okay. I didn't expect it to be good, so it was okay. I think Wyatt should win over, but that's rant for another
Jeez.
day. I
Jeez.
What?
Why going over?
He had to go over. He was the new. The story they were
RJ,
telling him
no
was
way.
as the new face
no
of fear.
Way.
Yes way.
It's a lose.
It was a lose-lose
We can
either
go on
way.
forever about
No
this.
way.
Of the two,
This
two,
goes-
Undertaker had to
this
win.
is the same thing. This is the same thing with Sting and Triple H. How Triple H is every Monday from 8 to 11 to rebuild his heat. Undertaker has one night a year. Wyatt will do fine. He has had the greatest run ever since he since he came back at Hell in a Cell. He's had the greatest run of any star in the company. He is being beautifully booked. The loss was a loss, but he'll gain that heat. He'll gain that momentum back.
I don't see it.
You cannot have the man who for 21 years never so much even came close to getting a loss at WrestleMania, have him lose 2 years in a row to Bray Wyatt, a man who is great, but has not even established himself yet as someone who could even be thought of being The Undertaker. I thought Bray Wyatt did a great job bringing this segment to fruition, bringing this program into fruition. His promos were beautiful. They are pieces of art. But at the end of the day, there's no way Bray Wyatt should be The Undertaker. Shame on you, RJ.
Bray Wyatt should have went over hands down.
Here's the thing.
My issue with Bray Wyatt losing last year is the reason why he should have won this year. I think, he lost last year when he should have won. It would have made way more sense winning last year. He had his run, but lost in the shuffle at the end of the year. Leaves, comes back. He was good. They built him up again high, but then he's going to lose again, and he can't get that win back over Undertaker. And if he beat Undertaker, then it would solidify him as, like, the new Undertaker, or, like, Face of Fear, whatever the hell they're calling it. And Undertaker, if he lost, then, like, him and Sting would kind of make sense for next year because Sting lost and he lost. Obviously, it's Undertaker versus Wyatt, but I think Wyatt needed the win more. I think he needed the win more, in my opinion.
RJ. If you were Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, or JBL, and you were sitting in Levi's Stadium this past Sunday, and you see The Undertaker for the second year in a row get his shoulders pinned to the mat, 1, 2, 3, how the hell would you call that? Because I have no idea how I would. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Cole, and for the second year in a row, you're watching The Undertaker lose. We got nothing to say right now.
They didn't say anything last year either.
Yeah,
Terrible
because
call,
last
yeah.
year was the first time. The Undertaker, 21 years, 2 decades, no one beat him at WrestleMania. You're telling me Bray Wyatt's gonna come? I mean, I don't want to sound like a big guy kind of only Lesnar is realistic in beating. Hell, Daniel Bryan beating the Undertaker. As much as I would love that because I love Daniel Bryan, that would be no, that can't happen. I mean, if you want to have Bray Wyatt beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. Go for it. That sounds awesome. New Face of Fear, Bray Wyatt. Undertaker loses to Brock Lesnar, isn't seen for 365 days, and then loses to Bray Wyatt. Get out of here. No way.
Yeah, but okay, so say that you're saying he can't lose to Bray Wyatt. Say they have it next year, Sting and Undertaker. Sting wins. What does that do with Undertaker? Then you 2 losses. It wouldn't matter. If Sting loses, either Undertaker has to lose one at a time. He lost once. The streak's over. People need to get out of the streak. If he loses to Bray Wyatt, they can say, he's on his way out. He's done. He's retired. He's going to leave next night on Raw. I'm going to retire. Sting comes out, makes that match. One more match, that's it. Undertaker winning does not benefit Wyatt at all. He can't get that win back. Another year at WrestleMania, he lost, and people are going to remember him losing again.
All right.
And he wasn't even on Raw last night because he's hurt, and he's hurt now. So now he's not even wrestling again.
All right, yeah, he's hurt. It's not like he wasn't on Raw because they had no direction for him. If he wasn't hurt, he would have been on Raw. All right. But like I said, The Undertaker has 0 public opportunities to gain any heat back. I mean, he never even came out and so much as even hinted as to what his thoughts were after losing to Brock Lesnar. He's never publicly said anything about the streak being defeated. So then what makes you think losing 2 times in a row, he could come back and say, like, hey, guys, I know I've been the Phenom for 21 years, but, yeah, there were 2 flukes 2 years in a row. Sorry, I'll get him next year when I say Sting. Like, no, there's no way that could happen. Bray Wyatt has 52 weeks right now. Mark your calendar. 52 weeks until WrestleMania to become a badass heel, and he could win a match next year. He has not even come close to earning a victory over The Undertaker. Oh, my goodness. And you know what you do at WrestleMania 32? You don't have either Sting or The Undertaker lose. You have a last man standing match between Sting and The Undertaker, and neither man can get to the 10 count. And then both of them go out in a draw. They walk out with their arms around each other, and that is the end. You don't have either of them win. That is how you book it.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think Wyatt has no credibility. He's never won a title. He loses at WrestleMania Cena. He loses again to Undertaker. Where does that put him now? He's they have him kind of as main event guy, but he's just never done anything. Like him losing again, and him, like, what's he going to do now? Who's he going to wrestle now? He already did Dean Ambrose. What other babyface is he going to wrestle?
He spent the entire winter slapping around Dean Ambrose.
Okay. Dean Ambrose.
All right, so he looked like a monster heel all winter. One loss to the Undertaker isn't going to ruin his career. I'm sure they have something planned for him right now that'll put him right back into the thick of it. You guys are talking about how John Cena's a mid-carder now. Why don't you give him a win over John Cena? Hell, I've never seen Bray Wyatt. I've never seen Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton do anything. Why don't you give him a win over Randy Orton? You can get Bray Wyatt back to where he was so easily.
They didn't do it last year. It took him a full year to do it.
All right, but I'm sure they're not going to do it 2 years in a row. If Undertaker loses 2 years in a row, what does he say about that? Hey, I'm getting old. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Sorry, guys. Like, Bray Wyatt can easily put together one of the greatest promos you'll ever hear and instantly have everyone being like, all right, this guy's great. Undertaker, there's no promo in the world that he could do to make up for losing 2 years in a row.
I think Wyatt should have won. But.
All right. So, okay. I'm going to try to go down the middle here. I thought it was a good match. Taker looked a lot better. I think that was something that we did not mention. I thought he looked a lot better than last year. He wore the pants. He grew his hair back out, thank God. So he looked terrible last year in his match against Brock Lesnar. A bad match. He looked really bad, had his streak broken. So it made sense. It's not like he looked equally bad. He wasn't a superstar in there. We were pointing that out. He did not look great in there. He looked a lot better, though, than last year. So it was realistic that he could win. So now with Undertaker winning, you mentioned this during the show, but that could have been anybody. It should have been anybody else. Bray Wyatt was the wrong choice. I know they got their money shot. It was great. I loved it with Wyatt doing the spider walk and then him sitting up. I thought that was great. But maybe they wanted to do it for that. I have no idea. But I feel like you could have put Ambrose in there or, I don't know, anyone, not Rusev, but you know what I mean. Anyone else in the roster, Ziggler for all I care, I don't know. This was only to get, Undertaker give his win back, and right now it looks like there's no indication that he will or will not wrestle. He hasn't spoken yet. He should have been on Raw to address it. Like John said, we have not heard Undertaker once since the streak was broken. So it should have been him on Raw talking about it and then do the Sting thing or whatever. But I still think that and Wyatt would have benefited. It was a lose-lose at the end of the day. We've talked about this before. But I feel like of the two scenarios, Undertaker could not have suffered a second loss because he's, going 21-0 and he could not. I don't know if it would completely diminish Brock Lesnar's victory, but I think it would do better if Lesnar was the only one who can say, I beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania and nobody else. And he was made to look good in defeat too. So it wasn't like he was, completely squashed with Undertaker hitting all of his signature spots and it's over. At least Wyatt had a good match. It wasn't a great match. It was everything that I thought it was going to be. And he looked good in defeat. And even if Wyatt won or lost, we still don't know what's next for him. Even if he won last night, we have no idea what's next. And we don't have a babyface champion, so he couldn't be built to look like, face Rollins or whatever. So I didn't have a huge problem with it because of the two people, the right man went over. But that should not have been Wyatt in there to begin with. That should have been Ambrose for all I care. Someone that could have taken the loss and would not have been as bad after what happened last year with Wyatt. Like you said, should have never lost a scene in the first place. So